In 2019, in a small town in Ohio, USA, there was an old roadside rest stop bathroom that most people avoided at night. Truck drivers called it the last stall. The building stood alone beside a long, empty highway, surrounded by dead trees and broken streetlights. During the day, it looked normal, dirty, old, but usable. But at night, it was different. People said if you used the last stall in the men's bathroom after 12 a.m., you would not come out the same. Some said you would not come out at all. A wrong stop. My name is Ethan Walker. I was driving from Chicago to New York for a night delivery job. Around 1:30 a.m., my stomach started hurting badly. The highway was empty, and the next gas station was far away. Then I saw the sign, Rest Stop, 1 mile. I didn't want to stop, but I had no choice. When I arrived, the place looked dead. Only one flickering light. No cars, no people. The wind was cold. The trees made strange sounds. I told myself, just 5 minutes and leave. Door, inside the bathroom. The men's bathroom smelled like rust and wet concrete. 3 stalls. The first 2 doors were broken. The last stall was closed. I remembered the rumors and laughed nervously. Stupid stories, I said. I walked into the second stall, but the door wouldn't lock. Then I heard something. Knock, knock, knock. It came from the last stall. I froze. Someone spoke in a slow, wet voice. Wrong stall. My heart started beating fast. I said, sorry, man, didn't know anyone was there. No answer. I waited. Then I heard scratching on the wall between us. Long, slow nails. Blood. The voice. I quickly finished and tried to leave. But when I opened the stall door, the bathroom door was gone. Where the exit should be, there was only a dirty brick wall. My phone had no signal. The light started flickering. Then I heard it again. You should not have come here. The last stall door slowly opened. Inside was not a person. It was something tall, bent, with too many joints in its arms. Its face was wrong. No eyes, only a wide smile carved into its skin. Brain, the truth. It spoke again. This place is between places. This bathroom is not on your road anymore. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. It pointed at the mirror. I looked and saw another man standing behind me, but his face was blurred. The creature said, he sat in my stall. Now he stays. I realized that man was not a reflection. He was a previous victim. Run. The lights went out. Total darkness. I ran. I didn't know where. The floor felt longer than before. The walls felt breathing. I heard feet crawling behind me. Then suddenly, I crashed through a door and fell onto cold concrete. Dawn. I was outside. The bathroom building looked normal again. Sun was rising. My truck was still there. I thought it was a nightmare until I checked my phone. There was a new photo in my gallery. It showed me standing in front of a bathroom mirror with something smiling behind me. TV, the news. 3 weeks later, I saw something on the news. A truck driver named Ethan Walker has been missing since 2019. That was my name. That was my face. But I was still here. Or something like me was. Shower. Final truth. Sometimes when I look in mirrors, I see the bathroom behind me and the last stall door slowly opening, waiting.
My name is Ethan Walker. At least, that's what I remember. But according to the world, I do not exist anymore. After that night at a rest stop bathroom in Ohio, everything changed. When I searched myself on the internet, I found only one result. Truck driver Ethan Walker, age 32, missing since October 2019, last seen at a roadside rest stop. There was a photo. My photo. Same face, same jacket, same scar near my eyebrow. But I was standing right there reading it, alive, breathing, or something close to breathing. Mirrors started behaving strangely. Whenever I looked into one, for a second, I would see the bathroom behind me, cracked tiles, flickering lights, and sometimes the last stall door closed, waiting. One morning in a motel room in Pennsylvania, I saw someone else in the mirror, a man standing behind me, his face blurred, just like the one the creature showed me. He raised his hand. I turned around. No one was there. When I looked back at the mirror, he was closer. That same day, I noticed something on my left arm, a thin black symbol. It looked like a door with an eye inside it. I tried to wash it. It didn't come off. I tried to scratch it. It bled. And then it moved. Not like ink, like something under the skin. I decided to go to the only person I trusted, my sister, Emily, in Michigan. When I called her, she went silent for a long time. Then she said, "This is not funny." I said, "Emily, it's me." She started crying. "My brother disappeared 6 years ago. We buried an empty coffin. If this is a joke, please stop." 6 years. For me, it had been 3 weeks. I still went to her house. When she saw me, she fainted. After she woke up, she kept touching my face like I was a ghost. She said, "They found your truck at the rest stop. The bathroom was gone, like it never existed." Emily showed me something, a police body cam video. 2 officers entered the bathroom that night. The video showed only 2 stalls, not 3, but the wall at the end looked new, too clean. One officer said, "Feels like something's wrong here." Then the camera glitched. For one frame, there was a 3rd stall door, and something was standing inside it, smiling. I went to a doctor. Brain scan, blood test, heartbeat test. Everything looked normal, except one thing. My reflection in the metal instruments sometimes blinked when I didn't. The doctor said, "You're suffering from dissociation, maybe trauma." But when he left the room, I saw his reflection still standing there, watching me. Time was wrong around me. Clocks stopped, phones reset. People sometimes forgot conversations they just had with me. Once, a gas station cashier screamed and said, "You were here yesterday, and last week, and in 2020. You never age." Emily's husband, Mark, worked in city records. He helped me search. We found something buried in old documents. Since 1953, 27 people had disappeared at roadside bathrooms across the USA. Same pattern. Late night, alone, last stall. In every case, the building was later renovated or removed, like someone was erasing the door. One document mentioned a strange term, threshold sites, places where reality is thin. Not here, not there, just between. Bathrooms, elevators, hotel corridors, places people pass through, never stay. I started dreaming of a long white hallway with hundreds of stall doors on both sides. Some were shaking, some were bleeding, some were knocking from inside, and at the end of the hall was my door with my name scratched into it. In one dream, I saw a very old man. He said, "I was the first, 1953, Nevada. I sat in the wrong stall." He opened his shirt. On his chest was the same symbol, door, I. He said, "It doesn't kill you, it moves you. It makes a copy. One stays, one leaves, but neither is complete." I started to understand. The Ethan in the news, the missing one, was maybe the real one, and I was the one who came back wrong. One night, I woke up and saw my bedroom wall had turned into bathroom tiles, just one corner, dripping. The crack between places was following me. Then I got a message from an unknown number. It was a photo, a bathroom mirror, and written on it in steam, "You took my place." From that night, I started seeing people in reflections who were not there. They were getting closer, smiling, learning my face. In another dream, the creature from the stall spoke. "Balance must be kept. A door for a door, a place for a place. You are temporary." I finally understood. The world only allows a certain number of people to escape, and when someone does, someone else must take their stall. Last night, I looked in the mirror and saw myself behind me, but thinner, paler, smiling. He touched the glass, and the glass felt soft, like skin. He wrote with his finger, "It's your turn to stay."
The reflection didn't move when I moved. It waited. The thing wearing my face stood behind the glass, smiling with a mouth that was just a little too wide. Its eyes blinked one by one. Then it raised its hand and pressed its palm against the mirror. The mirror bent inward like soft rubber, and I felt the pressure on my own hand. That's when I understood. It wasn't behind the mirror, it was on the other side of me. "You're leaking," it said in my voice. "The door is opening." Bloody. Emily doesn't remember me anymore. I ran to my sister's room. Emily was sitting on the bed, holding her phone, confused. She looked at me like she looks at strangers. "Who are you?" I felt my stomach drop. I said her name. She shook her head. "How do you know me?" On her wall, the family photos had changed. In every photo, there was an empty space where I used to be. Not cut out, not erased, just never there. Mark's last words. Mark was in his office, pale, sweating. He had papers spread everywhere. Blueprints, police reports, old photos. He whispered, "They're not buildings, they're wounds." He showed me a map. Hundreds of dots across the USA. Bathrooms, elevators, motel hallways, stairwells. He said, "Reality heals itself by closing doors, but sometimes it scars." Then he looked at me and said, "You're not supposed to be here," and his nose started bleeding. Swish, the first blueprint. In a forgotten archive, we found it, a blueprint from 1928. Not a bathroom, not a building, a containment structure, written in red ink at the bottom, "Threshold anchor, do not complete the final door." But someone did, and every time it's rebuilt, the door comes back. X-ray, the MRI scan. I went to a private lab. They scanned my brain. When the technician looked at the screen, he stepped back. There's space missing, not damage, like a room was removed from your head. Then the machine turned itself off. The reflection in the glass stayed on, smiling. Highway, the call from Ohio. My phone rang, unknown number. When I answered, I heard running water and breathing. Then a voice. "The rest stop is back, and someone is knocking from the last stall." Car return. I didn't tell Emily. She wouldn't remember anyway. The road felt shorter than before. Signs repeated. I passed the same dead tree 3 times. Then I saw it. The rest stop. Clean, new paint, like it had just been built. Door, only 2 stalls. Inside, there were only 2 stalls. No third, no last stall. The mirror looked normal. My reflection looked obedient. Then I heard it. Knock. From the wall. Not a door, just tiles. "You're early," the wall said. Swish, the soft wall. The tiles began to sink inward, like wet skin. A doorscape formed. A handle grew out of the wall. And then, the last stall was back. Standy, the hallway. When I opened it, there was no toilet, no room, only a long white hallway. Doors on both sides. Hundreds, thousands, each with names. Some in English, some in languages I didn't recognize. Some with no letters at all, just scratches. At the end, a door with my name. Jack, the architect. A man was standing there, very old, wearing a hospital gown. His skin was covered in symbols. He said, "I designed the first anchor. We were trying to patch a hole in the world, but the hole learned our shape." Swish, the true function. He explained, "The hallway is a drain. It takes people who slip between realities, turns them into doors. Each door keeps the world stable. You are not inside the system. You are part of it." X-ray, what the symbol means. He touched my arm. The door eye symbol turned. "It means you are unfinished. You escaped before the door was closed. That makes you a leak." Scream, the sound of knocking. Every door in the hallway was knocking from the inside, not to get out, to get noticed. "They're not prisoners," the architects read. "They are supports." Repeat, the truth about copies. I asked about the double. He said, "There are no copies, only perspectives. One version becomes a door. One version becomes a shadow that walks. Neither is complete." Standy, my door. We stood in front of the door with my name. I could hear my own voice crying inside it. "If you close it," I said, "what happens to me?" He answered, "You become real, but not here." Bloody, the choice. "Or," he said, "you can stay unfinished, and the world will keep breaking around you." Door, the thing that wears me. The hallway lights flickered. My double was standing behind me. "I'm the version that fits," it said. "You're the mistake." It walked to my door, put its hand on the handle. Repeat, the fight. I grabbed it. Its skin felt like wet paper. We fell. The hallway bent. Door screamed. Bloody, the architect's last act. He shoved me toward the door. "You don't choose who stays. The system does. And
and he jumped into my door. It slammed shut. My name changed on it, to his. Earth, the collapse. The hallway began to fold, doors disappeared. The last doll began to burn. My double screamed and got pulled into the floor. Highway, outside. I woke up on the bathroom floor. Morning light. The building was being demolished. Worker said, "This place was never on the map." Repeat, the final test. I looked in the mirror. My reflection moved with me. No delay, no smile, no extra blink. The symbol on my arm was gone. TV, the news again. That night, the news said, "Cold case closed. Remains of missing truck driver Ethan Walker found in Nevada, 1953. Not 2019. Bloody, the last line. Sometimes I still hear knocking. Not from walls, not from doors, from inside my head. And I know, somewhere, there is a hallway, with one door too many."
Even after the bathroom was demolished, even after the symbol vanished, even after my reflection became normal, the knocking never stopped. It didn't come from walls anymore. It came from inside my skull. 3 slow knocks, always when I was about to sleep, always from behind my thoughts. The doctor who vanished. I went to a neurologist in Boston. He listened, he scanned, he frowned. "Your brain looks edited, like someone erased a hallway from it." He printed the scans, left the room, never came back. The nurse later said, "There is no doctor with that name working here." And the room he used didn't exist. The package. 3 days later, a package arrived at my hotel. No sender. Inside was a cassette tape, a notebook, a yellowed photo. The photo showed a group of men in 1928 standing in front of a concrete structure. Not a bathroom, not a building, a hole with walls. Written behind the photo, "First anchor site, Nevada." The tape still worked. A man's voice. "If you are hearing this, it means the correction failed. The hallway is still growing. God forgive us. We taught the wound how to wear doors." The first site. The notebook contained coordinates. Nevada desert, middle of nowhere. I drove for 2 days. No phone signal, no radio. Then I saw it. A sinkhole in the desert, surrounded by old concrete ruins. And in the middle, a single white door standing upright, with no wall. The door that breathes. The door was breathing, slowly, like lungs. And I heard it. Thousands of knocks. From the other side, the old living architect. A trailer nearby. Inside was a very old woman, blind. Her skin was covered in door eye symbols. She said, "You're late. The world has been leaking for almost a century. The original sin." She told me everything. In 1928, a group of scientists discovered something impossible. A place where space didn't agree with itself. A tear. A contradiction. Not a hole. A logical wound in reality. Objects inside it existed in 2 places at once. Time leaped. Angles were wrong. They called it the inconsistency. The first anchor. They tried to contain it. They built walls. The walls bent. They built rooms. The rooms repeated. Finally, someone suggested, "If it behaves like a passage, make it a passage." So they built a door. And reality accepted it. The wound copied the idea. The first man. A volunteer stepped in. He came back. But 2 days later, they found another version of him still inside. And both started breaking. One became sick. One became wrong. So they closed the door. And the first hallway door was created. The terrible discovery. They learned the truth. The wound doesn't remove people. It turns them into structural support. Each door is a human being. Each anchor site is a bandage made of lives. Why bathrooms? Because the wound likes transitional spaces. Places where the human mind already accepts in-between states. Hallways. Elevators. Bathrooms. Stairwells. Reality copies human habits to hide itself. The expansion. Over decades, the wound grew. It learned architecture. It learned names. It learned faces. It learned how to build itself. The hallway was no longer built by humans. It was built by the wound. The memory edits. She said, "The world constantly rewrites itself to hide the leaks. Maps change. Records vanish. People forget. You survived because you exited mid-process. What I am. You are a walking paradox," she said. "A piece of the hallway that learned to pretend it's human. The true horror." She showed me something in the sinkhole. A ladder. Down, down, down. At the bottom, a city made of doors. Miles wide, miles deep. Every door. A person. Still aware, still thinking, still holding reality together. The sound. The knocking wasn't asking to be freed. It was the sound of load-bearing suffering, like beams cracking in a house. The reset cycles.
Every few days, she said, the system resets. Old anchors fail. New ones are created. Wars, disasters, missing people. Not causes, symptoms. Why 1953? 1953 was the first global failure. They replaced thousands of doors at once. The world almost collapsed. History was edited. That's why records don't make sense before that year. The final secret. She said, the hallway is not inside the world. The world is built around the hallway. They are coming. The ground started vibrating. She whispered, the system noticed you. It doesn't like unfinished things. The white figures. They came out of the desert. Tall, faceless, made of door frames and skin. Walking errors. They don't kill, she said. They complete. The chase. I ran. The door in the desert opened by itself. The hallway was inside, bigger than before. Hungry. The choice. She screamed. If you stay human, the wound spreads. If you return, it stabilizes. If you destroy the anchor, there will be no world left to save. The last recording. She pushed the notebook into my hands. Someone has to remember. The system only works if no one understands it. Then one of the white things touched her, and she became a door. The end of the desert. The sinkhole closed, like it was never there. The door vanished. The desert became flat. Normal. What I know now. I am not fully human. I am not fully a door. I am a walking paradox the universe hasn't fixed yet.